In prehistoric times, the region that would eventually evolve into England was predominantly inhabited by Celtic tribes. These early inhabitants left behind limited written records, so our understanding of their existence is largely derived from archaeological discoveries and the observations of later historians. The Celts, an Indo-European people, established their presence in the British Isles during the Iron Age, which began around 800 BCE. They brought with them distinct cultural practices, languages, and social structures. The landscape was dotted with tribal communities, each with its own customs and local leaders. The Celts were skilled farmers, cultivating the land for sustenance. They also engaged in trading activities with neighboring regions. Their societies were organized into clans or tribes, and the people were known for their craftsmanship, creating intricate metalwork and artistic artifacts. While the Celtic tribes in prehistoric England coexisted and traded with one another, they were not isolated from external influences. The region experienced interactions with continental Europe, and there is evidence of contact with other cultures through trade routes and migrations. The Celts in prehistoric England laid the foundation for the cultural and social landscape of the region. However, as history progressed, the Roman invasion in the 1st century BCE and subsequent influences from various invaders would contribute to shaping the identity and history of what we now know as England. During the Roman period spanning from 43 BCE to 410 CE, the region that would later become England underwent a transformative chapter marked by the Roman occupation. This epoch left an indelible mark on the local culture and played a crucial role in shaping the future history of England. In 43 BCE, the Romans, under Emperor Claudius, initiated their conquest of Britain. The Roman presence introduced advanced engineering, governance systems, and a sophisticated urban lifestyle. The construction of roads, such as Watling Street, facilitated trade and connectivity throughout the region. Cities like Londinium, London, emerged as vital hubs of commerce and administration. Roman influence extended beyond infrastructure. The Romanization of the local population had a profound impact on cultural practices, language, and social norms. The introduction of Latin, the Roman legal system, and architectural styles contributed to a hybrid culture that blended indigenous traditions with Roman elements. The Roman occupation also brought about economic changes. Agriculture flourished with the introduction of new crops and farming techniques, leading to increased productivity. The extraction of valuable resources, such as minerals, became integral to the Roman economy. However, the Roman period was not devoid of challenges. Periodic conflicts with indigenous tribes and external pressures on the Roman Empire influenced the dynamics of the region. The Roman withdrawal in 410 CE marked the end of their direct rule in Britain, but their legacy endured in the form of enduring cultural, architectural, and economic contributions. The Roman period, with its fusion of Roman and indigenous elements, laid a foundation for the evolving identity of England and set the stage for subsequent chapters in its rich and diverse history. During the medieval ages, England witnessed a significant historical transformation, characterized by the rise of the Anglo-Saxon kingdom and its subsequent integration with the Viking kingdom, culminating in the formation of the Kingdom of England. The early medieval period in England, roughly from the 5th to the 11th century, was marked by a complex tapestry of political and cultural developments. The Anglo-Saxons, a Germanic people, played a central role in shaping the destiny of the region. They established several independent kingdoms, including Wessex, Mercia, and Northumbria. However, the dynamics of medieval England shifted dramatically with the arrival of Viking invaders from Scandinavia. Waves of Viking raids and invasions beginning in the late 8th century led to the establishment of Viking-controlled territories known as the Danelaw. The Vikings, known for their seafaring prowess, brought about a distinct Norse influence to the existing Anglo-Saxon culture. The turning point came with the reign of King Alfred the Great of Wessex, who successfully resisted Viking invasions and laid the groundwork for the unification of Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. His successors, particularly King Athelstan, further consolidated power and expanded the Kingdom of England. The decisive moment in this integration occurred in 1066 with the Battle of Stamford Bridge and the Battle of Hastings. King Harold II, the last Anglo-Saxon king, faced defeat against the Norman invasion led by William the Conqueror. This event marked the beginning of Norman rule in England and the amalgamation of Anglo-Saxon and Norman cultures. The merging of Anglo-Saxon and Viking elements with Norman influence laid the foundation for the Kingdom of England, creating a unique blend of cultural, linguistic, and political characteristics. This medieval period set the stage for the enduring identity of England, shaping its institutions and traditions for centuries to come. After the pivotal Battle of Hastings in 1066, a momentous event unfolded in English history as William the Conqueror, the Duke of Normandy, launched a successful invasion of England. This triumph marked the beginning of a new era, establishing William as the first monarch of the Norman dynasty. The Battle of Hastings, fought on October 14, 1066, was a decisive confrontation between the Norman forces led by William and the English army, commanded by King Harold II. The battle culminated in a Norman victory, leading to the death of King Harold II and the consolidation of William's claim to the English throne. Following his triumph, William was crowned King of England on Christmas Day in 1066 at Westminster Abbey. This marked the start of a transformative period known as the Norman Conquest. William faced numerous challenges in securing his rule, including rebellions and uprisings by Anglo-Saxon nobles opposed to the Norman rule. To solidify his control, William implemented significant changes in governance, introducing the feudal system and undertaking a comprehensive survey of land and property, known as the Domesday Book. The Normans also initiated a series of castle constructions, fortifying strategic locations across England. The Norman conquest had profound and lasting effects on England. It brought about a fusion of Norman and Anglo-Saxon cultures, influencing language, law, and societal structures. The ruling class shifted, and the English monarchy became intricately tied to the Norman aristocracy. William the Conqueror's legacy extended far beyond his reign. His rule marked the beginning of a new chapter in English history, setting the stage for the medieval monarchy and shaping the trajectory of the country for centuries to come. Internal conflicts and wars, notably the Wars of the Roses in the 15th century, left an indelible mark on England's history, shaping the course of the nation during this tumultuous period. The Wars of the Roses, which spanned from 1455 to 1487, were a series of dynastic struggles between two rival branches of the Plantagenet family, the House of Lancaster, symbolized by the red rose, and the House of York, symbolized by the white rose. The conflict arose from competing claims to the English throne, adding a layer of complexity to an already intricate political landscape. The conflict had its roots in long-standing tensions, power struggles, and disputes over royal succession. The battles were marked by shifting allegiances, with key figures such as Richard III and Henry Tudor playing pivotal roles in the unfolding drama. The Battle of Bosworth Field in 1485 proved to be a decisive moment in the Wars of the Roses. Henry Tudor, representing the Lancastrian faction, emerged victorious, claiming the throne as Henry VII. This marked the end of the Plantagenet dynasty and the beginning of the Tudor era. The Wars of the Roses had far-reaching consequences for England. The conflicts resulted in significant loss of life, political instability, and economic upheaval. The feudal system was deeply impacted, and the power of the nobility was curtailed. The Wars of the Roses also set the stage for the subsequent Tudor monarchy, bringing about a new era in English history. This period of internal strife and conflict is often regarded as a precursor to the Renaissance in England, as it paved the way for social, political, and economic transformations that would characterize the nation's development in the years to come. In the 17th century, England underwent a transformative period characterized by the Protestant Revolution and the establishment of the parliamentary system, marking profound changes in the country's political and religious landscape. The century opened with tensions between the monarchy and parliament, fueled by disputes over issues such as taxation, religion, and the extent of royal authority. This period witnessed a series of conflicts, including the English Civil War, 1642-1651, which ultimately resulted in the execution of King Charles I in 1649. The rise of parliamentarians, led by figures like Oliver Cromwell, heralded a significant shift in power. England declared itself a commonwealth under Cromwell's leadership, marking a brief period without a monarch. However, political stability remained elusive, and after Cromwell's death in 1658, the monarchy was eventually restored in 1660 with the return of Charles II. The Glorious Revolution of 1688 marked another crucial turning point. Faced with the prospect of a Catholic monarch, James II, Parliament invited William of Orange and his wife Mary to assume the throne. This bloodless revolution resulted in the establishment of constitutional monarchy and parliamentary supremacy. The events of the 17th century laid the groundwork for the modern constitutional framework of England. The Bill of Rights in 1689 formalized limits on royal power and affirmed parliamentary authority, ensuring that the monarchy operated within a constitutional framework. This period is often associated with the birth of modern parliamentary democracy. Moreover, the 17th century saw the consolidation of Protestantism as the dominant religious force in England, with the ascendancy of the Church of England. The Toleration Act of 1689 granted limited religious freedoms, marking a step towards religious pluralism. In summary, the 17th century in England was characterized by a tumultuous interplay of political, religious, and constitutional changes, ultimately laying the foundations for the modern state and parliamentary system. The 19th century stands as a pivotal era in history, witnessing profound economic and social transformations with the advent of the Industrial Revolution. This period of unprecedented change reshaped the fabric of society, ushering in a new age of innovation and progress. The Industrial Revolution, which began in the late 18th century and continued into the 19th century, marked a shift from agrarian and manual labor-based economies to industrialized, machine-driven production. England played a central role in this revolution, becoming a global epicenter for technological advancements and industrial growth. Technological innovations, such as the steam engine and mechanized textile production, revolutionized manufacturing processes. Factories emerged as the new centers of production, drawing large numbers of people from rural areas to urban centers in search of employment. This migration fueled the rapid expansion of cities and the rise of industrial urbanization. The growth of industries had far-reaching economic implications. It led to increased production capacity, the development of new industries, and the creation of a more interconnected global economy. The introduction of the railway system facilitated the transportation of goods and people, further accelerating economic development. While the Industrial Revolution brought about economic prosperity and technological progress, it also gave rise to significant social challenges. The working conditions in factories were often harsh, with long hours and inadequate safety measures. Labor movements and calls for workers' rights gained momentum as individuals sought better conditions and fair wages. Social structures underwent significant changes as well. The emergence of an industrial middle class and the concentration of wealth in the hands of industrialists altered traditional hierarchies. Urbanization led to the growth of a new social dynamic, with diverse communities and increased cultural exchange. In summary, the 19th century Industrial Revolution marked a transformative period in England's history. It propelled the nation into a new era of industrialization, economic growth, and societal change, laying the groundwork for the modern industrialized world. In the 20th century, England played a central role in global events, participating in both world wars and undergoing significant social and cultural transformations that would shape the nation for decades to come. The century opened with the First World War, 1914 to 1918, a conflict that had a profound impact on England and the world. The war brought about unprecedented changes in society, as men were mobilized to the front lines, and women took on new roles in the workforce. The war also led to economic challenges and a re-evaluation of traditional values. Following a brief interwar period, England found itself once again embroiled in global conflict with the outbreak of the Second World War, 1939 to 1945. The war had a devastating impact on the country, with cities facing intense bombing raids during the Blitz. England's resilience during this period, exemplified by the indomitable spirit of its people, played a crucial role in the eventual Allied victory. In the aftermath of the Second World War, England, along with the rest of Europe, faced the task of rebuilding. The post-war years witnessed the implementation of social and economic reforms, including the establishment of the National Health Service, NHS, in 1948, which provided universal health care. The mid-20th century saw a cultural renaissance known as the Swinging Sixties. England became a hub of creativity and innovation, with London at the forefront of the global cultural scene. The Beatles' iconic fashion and the rise of youth culture marked this period of societal change. The latter half of the century was characterized by ongoing social transformations, including the struggle for civil rights, the feminist movement, and changing attitudes towards immigration. England's participation in the process of European integration and its entry into the European Economic Community in 1973 signaled a new chapter in the country's relationship with its neighbors. The 20th century concluded with the end of the Cold War, the dismantling of the British Empire, and England's increasing engagement with a globalized world. This century of upheaval and change laid the foundation for the diverse and dynamic society that defines modern England. The start of the contemporary era witnessed significant shifts in government and the economy, driven by the forces of globalization and technology. These transformative changes have redefined the way nations, including England, operate on the global stage. Globalization, characterized by increased interconnectedness and interdependence among nations, has played a central role in shaping contemporary governance and economic structures. England, as part of this global landscape, has experienced the impact of international trade, communication, and cultural exchange. Economically, the contemporary era has been marked by a transition from traditional industries to a more service-oriented and technologically driven economy. The rise of information technology and the digital age has led to the prominence of sectors such as finance, telecommunications, and software development. England, with its financial hub in London, has been at the forefront of these changes. In the realm of government, the contemporary era has seen a shift towards more inclusive and participatory forms of governance. Advances in communication technology have facilitated greater citizen engagement and transparency. The rise of social media, in particular, has provided a platform for public discourse and political activism, influencing the dynamics of governance. The challenges and opportunities presented by globalization and technology have also prompted a re-evaluation of social and economic policies. Issues such as income inequality, environmental sustainability, and the ethical implications of technological advancements have become prominent areas of discussion and policy development. Additionally, England's role in the European Union, EU, has been a significant aspect of its contemporary political landscape. The decision to exit the EU, known as Brexit, has brought about complex challenges and implications for England's relationship with its European neighbors and the broader global community. In summary, the contemporary era in England has been characterized by a dynamic interplay between global influences, technological advancements, and evolving governance structures. As the nation navigates the complexities of a rapidly changing world, it continues to adapt to the challenges and opportunities presented by the forces of globalization and technology. In the 21st century, England has maintained its international influence while confronting new challenges, notably the profound economic and political impacts stemming from its decision to exit the European Union, commonly known as Brexit. The decision to leave the EU following the referendum in 2016 marked a historic turning point in England's relationship with the European continent. The process of negotiating the terms of Brexit and disentangling from EU institutions became a complex and protracted affair, influencing various aspects of the nation's political, economic, and social landscape. Economically, the aftermath of Brexit brought about shifts in trade agreements, supply chains, and investment patterns. New trade relationships had to be established, and businesses faced adjustments to comply with new regulatory frameworks. The economic impacts of Brexit were closely monitored, with debates surrounding the potential benefits and drawbacks of newfound autonomy in trade policy. Politically, Brexit stirred debates on national identity, sovereignty, and the future trajectory of the United Kingdom. It also led to changes in leadership, with Theresa May initially at the helm during the early stages of negotiations, and Boris Johnson subsequently taking charge as the country navigated the complexities of its withdrawal. The implications of Brexit extended beyond England's borders, affecting relationships with other nations and altering the geopolitical dynamics of the region. The Northern Ireland Protocol, designed to address issues related to the Irish border, became a focal point of negotiations, reflecting the broader challenges of disentanglement. While Brexit dominated much of the political agenda, England continued to assert its influence on the global stage. The country played a key role in international organizations, addressed global challenges such as climate change, and engaged in diplomatic efforts to shape global governance structures. In essence, the 21st century has seen England grapple with the dual realities of maintaining international influence and navigating the complexities arising from its decision to exit the European Union. The repercussions of Brexit continue to unfold, shaping the nation's path in a rapidly evolving global landscape.